Hello? Hello?
Ladies and gentlemen, we're live. Okay, look at that. Okay, we're good. Quick sync up 31, 32, 33, 34, just so I can put it on the screen at the right time. Right, shall we see what the day brings? Let's turn my magic ECG on. I have a heartbeat. Oh my god. 2, 1. It's alive! It's alive! Alright, today has not been as bad as yesterday, thankfully, but there's still shit going on, and no doubt we'll pick up one or two short beats on the screen. So we'll see. Maybe I should give myself a little bit more room here. So I can put the screen there. There we go. Okay, so here we go again. So, I took my fourth tablet this morning, so we'll see how this goes. I seem to be having a lovely heartbeat at the moment. I want to see what it looks like when I catch one of those misbeats, but it's, as you can see, it's behaving itself today, although I do have a heart rate in the 60s, not the 80s. So, yeah, what can you do, right? What can you do? So, that's what we're doing today. And I'm going to see if I can spot one of those. So I'm looking down at my ECG here. Oh, a regular beat. I'll show you what an irregular beat looks like too in a minute. Because they look a bit different than the short beats. Come on, show me a misbeat. Show me a short beat. I want to see that in the ECG. Nothing's fun. So, like I said, today was a little bit better than yesterday. I didn't feel the shit going on in my chest all day long. Although by the end of the day I was pretty tired, but that's probably because I didn't have a very good night's sleep. It's pretty hard to sleep when... you see that? It's pretty hard to sleep when your chest keeps thumping at you just as you nod off. So, yeah. I mean, there is shit going on, but it's not as bad as yesterday. So this is one of the reasons why I wanted to keep taking the medication, because I want to see how far this goes. I mean, it feels a bit, I don't know, how can I describe it? Almost tickly in there. It doesn't feel right to me sometimes. Some of the beats don't feel quite normal. But we'll see what the program comes up with. We'll just let it run for a couple of minutes here, and then we'll see what we come up with. So it looks a little bit different than yesterday. It looks a little bit different than yesterday. Definitely. We're in the 60s. We've got oxygen saturation of 100. Haven't seen that for a while. It's probably because I took my inhaler this morning. That might have helped. And I just had to take an antihistamine because I'm starting to feel like I'm getting an allergic reaction to something. It's almost like spring all over again, and we're heading into autumn here, so I don't know what that could be. Have to have coffee. It's one way to keep the heart rate up. I mean, you got to have coffee. I mean, life without caffeine is like a broken pencil. Pointless. So we're seeing some squiggly lines, whether that's me moving my finger or there's really shit going on. I do not know. We'll see what the ECG report comes up with. Seems to be a hell of a lot more behaved today. I did feel some misbeats or short beats going on. And after looking at the ECG yesterday, you can understand why they call them short beats. Because of those beats that are together, the peaks that are closer together. Whoa, what the fuck happened there? Or was that me just moving around? That's possible. Stay still, Lemon. The two beats that were close together, that's why they call them short beats. So I'll probably put it on the screen so you can see what I'm talking about. When that big peak comes, and then there is so the big sharp peak, then there is another peak after that, and then there is a smaller peak after that. And when I have a short beat, that small peak gets deleted by the big spike. So it's almost like, I don't know, my atrial and my ventricles are hitting the mark at the same time, which is what AF basically is. It's the natural pacemaker of my heart is drunk. So sometimes it works. Like now, it seems to be working properly, ish. But yeah, we'll see where it goes from here. It seems to be a better day. I mean, it certainly felt better. I was tired. That's probably because my heart rate is way down. But I'm getting a good oxygen saturation. I mean, that's the best I've seen it for months. So every day is a new story. Every day is a new story. So in a minute I'm going to go through the book. And because I have to... It must be. Because I was looking at something on here that looked a bit odd. I'm trying to look at both screens at the same time. I'm constantly feeling stuff in my chest going on. So whether there is something happening which I cannot see, I do not know. Now, for those of you who don't know me, then this is a new channel for you, and it's probably boring as hell. I basically put this channel together just for family members. I'm sending links to this to my family and family overseas who've asked, what the story is, how it's going with me, and friends who have been asking how it's been going with me. The benefits of this medication compared to the last medication. One, I'm on a lesser dose, so we tried a lesser dose. The other one, one of the side effects was depression, and it hit me pretty bad. I don't seem to have that so far with this one. Where before after a while I just couldn't see the point of all this. I was just getting angry and getting no help and blah 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 blah. But at the moment I'm like, yeah, I know I'm not getting help, but this is fucking exciting because I'm my own guinea pig in my own science experiment, which is cool as hell. Now, as my parents will attest to, as a child, when I was a lot younger, I used to be afraid of everything. Anything that went bump in the night, I'd be petrified. And there's some pretty fucking interesting readings going on here. Anyway, I used to be petrified of everything. Now, there's not much that can scare me anymore. Not even spiders. Not even cockroaches. And this, as far as I'm concerned, this is just a part of life. This is something you have to put up with. I'm 54. My dad went through this. With him it started when he was about 42, and I think it probably started with me about the same age. Because I've been dealing with this for 20 odd years. But it's the doctors always said it was my imagination. I've got a pretty good imagination, don't you think? The last doctor said it was acid reflux. Okay. So this is acid reflux. That's what acid reflux looks like. Well, okay. I've also got a pigeon chest. So there's a big cavity in the middle of my chest. Whether this exacerbates the problem, I do not know. I also have to ask that of a cardiologist. But yeah. So I'm just going to leave this run for a while. I'll probably stop this video and fast forward to the end and give you the results. Or play some music or whatever if I'm not playing that already. But I'm just going to see what this ECG is doing. I'm trying to teach myself. Before I used to look at this thing here, but I want to learn, because that's basically a pulse. That's the pressure wave that you're seeing on this machine here, where the ECG gives the electrical pulses of what we're looking at. But it's certainly, I don't know what a heartbeat is supposed to look like, so we'll go to the book in a minute. I'll put the book on the screen and see what the book has to say, because that little manual that came with it came with some basic information as well. And then we'll take my blood pressure and see what that's doing as well. I mean, I've got the machine here, I might as well do that. So, okay, how long have we been running now? That's 11 minutes, so we can call that 10 minutes. I'm doing this in 10-minute spurts, and then we see where we go from here. So I'm going to turn this ECG off. Cool. Turn this guy off. Alrighty. Okay, excuse me. You just settle down. Happy thoughts, happy thoughts. 142 over 85. What a heart rate is 60. 61. Don't know if you can see that. Should we do another one just for comparison? (143 over 83). Okay, so heart rate of 59. Cool.
So the reason why the sound quality isn't really as good as it was yesterday is because my computer decided, yeah, I'll record the visual, but I won't record the audio. So the audio I sort of pinched off my camera, which I used to film my tablet. So everything else is me just mouthing things to you without sound. So anyway, so I'm going to have to do this audio version because I'm not going to go through all that again. So let's have a see what we got here. So I took my blood pressure, as you could just see. So let's have a look at the results of the ECG. So here we go again. As you can see, the line is a bit more stable today than it was yesterday. No major peaks that I can see. We got the top heart rate was 90 beats per minute. The minimum heart rate was 60 beats per minute, and 66 beats per minute was the average. So that's not too bad, I suppose, and certainly a hell of a change from yesterday. Let's go to the report and see what that says. This one is just that little bit more interesting. So we got one case of short run of fast beat. So fine, I don't have problems with that. And we got 4 short beats and 4 irregular beats, which is, well, a totally different picture than what I posted yesterday. So my heart is a bit more I don't know, stable. So I'm kind of glad I did take the medication this morning, just to clarify what's doing what. Because if I didn't take the medication this morning and I got this result, that would have settled it in my mind that the medicine is making things worse, where that might not be the case. There might have been some other factors involved as to why my heart was doing what it was doing. Even though I had a good night's sleep the night before, and I'm usually finding that if I have a bad night's sleep, I get bad days like that during the day. But last night I had a not a very good night's sleep because it was doing last night what it was doing all day. So it's a bit hard to fall asleep when every couple of seconds your heart's doing that thump in your chest. Uh, it's like an alien trying to break out. So it's pretty hard to doze off when that shit's going on. So let's have a look at the ECG printout. So here is a full page of ECG, and it certainly haven't got as many coloured bits in there as we saw yesterday. So that's page 1. So that's the entire 10, 11 minutes worth of recording. And here comes page... Well, my computer just froze. Here comes page 2. So that's a hell of a different picture than yesterday. So I want to do a comparison because I wanted to know the difference between a irregular beat and what I call a misbeat or a short beat. So I'm going to put both on the screen and I'm going to see if we can spot a difference. I'll have to move one under the other. So there you go. So as you can see, with one that's got like the top one I put on there, that's a short beat. You can see that the two peaks are close together. That's why it's calling it a short beat. The bottom one it's highlighted as an irregular beat. So the similarities are the flat spot afterwards. So the beat interval is the same basically as the beat before it. You still got the same peaks. That hasn't enveloped the previous peak like the top one. At the top you can tell that it's swallowed up that little peak when it does the two beats closer together. So I think that's the atrial and the ventricles beating both at the same time. I could be wrong, I don't know, but it's certainly something is doing something over something else, because that little beat isn't there in the top one. My big peak is there, where in the bottom one that little beat just in front of that peak is there, and the beat after the peak is there, but the similarity is the flat spot afterwards. So that's what the difference is between a short beat and an irregular beat. So I've learned something. There you go. Now I want to show you something else. If I've got it here on the screen, I want to show you this. This is a different type of reading. This is when I do a manual reading. Now it looks like it's been flipped upside down almost, but this is just a single channel reading, where the other ones I've showed you so far is with the 3 cables. This one's just with holding the unit to my chest, so one electrode. What I want you to look at is the last bit of the page down the bottom there. So on the bottom right hand side you can see what the hell did that, what was going on there, and I felt that as it happened. Now that whole entire bottom line, if you can compare it to the others, is what's going on. Is almost a build up to what it was doing. So the top line, it was fairly normal, apart from the third to last beat on the top line. You can see it's a little irregular there. The second line, you can see it's I don't know, the peaks, the upper peaks, which look a little bit shorter than on the top line, and then the bottom is just a mess. It's just a mess, and I could feel that happening. I can feel that entire bottom line. I can feel that as a build up to what was happening just at that last beat. And as I was taking this measurement, just as it stopped, I felt that beat, and I was hoping it would capture it, and it did. So that's basically what a miss beat looks like, or a short beat looks like, on a single channel, single electrode ECG. So that sort of gives you an idea of what my heart's doing. So the single channel ECG, I'm finding it easier to read because I can reflect to what I was feeling at the time, where the multiple channel ECG is, even though there is more involved, it's harder for me to identify what's going on. But I'm learning. But unfortunately, the single channel, it only records for so many seconds, and that's it. And with the cables, it just keeps recording. So to capture, it's like going fishing and hoping you'll catch something. You know, it's like fly fishing. You just throw it in there and you reel it in and you hope you got it in those 20 seconds. And if you don't, you're going to have to throw it back out. And that's why cardiologists and doctors have such a hard time of pinpointing whether or not you have a problem, because this is what they have to do. They only take a short reading. They don't sit there all day or for 10 minutes just letting the thing run. They don't have time for that. I mean, capitalistic society won't allow it. They're always worried about the next patient, not you. So that's why I'm doing this, so I can dump all this on his desk, him or her, whoever my cardiologist ends up being, which will probably go private if this gets worse. So there you go. So I had to end this audio rather than on video, because my audio on my system decided to not record. So I'm going to wrap this up now. That rummaging in the background is my dog, who's just come back from the dog park, but he's still got heaps of energy. So joy, happy. So thank you for watching, stay safe, and see you tomorrow, where I'll do some more of the same.